Hey, my name is Mike, and this is a too long didn't read guide for the Jadefire Masters encounter in the Battle of Dazar'alor. In this fight, the Alliance and Horde face different bosses, but their mechanics remain the same. There's a monk boss who is Mara Grimfang for the Alliance and Mestra for Horde, and a mage boss who is Anathos Firecaller for Alliance, and Mansroy Flamefist for Horde. Throughout this video, I'll just refer to them as the monk and the mage bosses. If the mage has less health than the monk will get buffed, so focus your attacks on the monk. The monk will go into a random location of the room and start channeling Whirling Jade Storm, which deals raid-wide AoE until she's engaged again in melee combat. She also casts Multi-Sided Strike on her tank, which teleports you onto a platform in the air. Monk images will appear around you and then shortly charge at you in the order that they spawned. You need to turn your character to face these images to not take damage. Each successful soak gives you a stacking 20-second damage and healing done buff. If you survive, you'll be teleported back to the ground with a 40-second debuff that makes you take 100% more physical damage, so this is when you tank swap. On Heroic, a random amount of people will also be teleported with this ability. On Heroic, she also spawns a Tiger ad who fixates a random person. It'll periodically jump to the target's location, dealing damage to everyone within 5 yards. So if you're kiting it, try to stay away from people. The mage will cast Fireball on the tank, which applies a stacking dot called Burnout. You should tank swap around 7 stacks because when this dot expires, it deals raid-wide AoE based on the amount of stacks you have. The mage will also teleport to a random location in the room and put a damage absorption on himself. Break the shield and interrupt Pyroblast, or else the tank will probably die. Throughout this fight, he puts Searing Embers on random people, which is a dispellable dot that can be between 4 to 10 seconds. If you don't dispel this, a raid-wide AoE occurs when the time on the dot runs out. On Heroic, he will spawn red circles on the ground. A person with good damage reduction or an immunity should stand in this to make it disappear. Doing so will deal a lot of damage to that player and launch them high into the air. You will die to fall damage if you don't have that immunity or a way to reduce your falling speed. As the fight progresses, both bosses will be gaining energy. At certain thresholds, they will perform certain abilities. At 30 energy, living bomb ads are spawned. They have an aura around them that creates line of sight issues and deals damage to anyone inside of it. The bomb will also do raid-wide AoE with its explosion cast every 10 seconds, and it also has a beam that rotates around the aura, so avoid it. At 60 energy, the raid will be teleported to one side of the room and must navigate a simple maze to get to the other side while avoiding orange swirlies. The green circles will knock you back if you step in them. A Warlock Gateway really speeds up this process, and apparently some abilities like Blink allow you to move through the circles. On the other side of the room, there will be a barrier that you need to break. There's different areas of the barrier you can target, but they all share health. On Heroic, you can run through a green orb in this maze. Getting it to the barrier presents another targetable area. At 100 energy, the monk will transform into a Jade Serpent and no longer do Whirling Jade Storm, and the mage will transform to a Phoenix and no longer do Pyroblast. The Serpent has a frontal breath ability that goes in a random direction. On Heroic, it'll leave fire patches on the ground. The Phoenix will do a raid-wide AoE every 3 seconds until it dies, and has an additional ability that leaves a stack of Burnout on the tank. You can use your offensive cooldowns on the pull, and defensive cooldowns can be used for things such as Burnout, the explosion from living bomb ads, and the raid-wide AoE at the end of the fight from the Phoenix. That was a too long didn't read guide for the Jadefire Masters encounter. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and have a lovely day.